Hello and welcome back to another episode of Raising Energy with Art, number 6 today. I am presenting today again works from the Art Institute of Atlanta and kind of go over the different tools that we got to practice with and the different classes we had. Classes, they were preparing for visual communication for the world of advertisement, and that's before everything went to computers. And we even had live drawing, which was with charcoal on big paper that was like a lower grade, like a newspaper quality. If that, I have none of those drawings left to show. I did have some of them framed and gave them away as gifts. It's a great practice, highly recommended. You know, that's action oriented. The other one that goes along with that is again pencil drawings, and that would be in the anatomy. So from that I have a few to show, and just kind of, this is different practices that gets you in touch with the muscle groups, and interesting enough that helped me later on when I got into the healing arts. So you never know. And one last one on this, and then we did some out of the books drawings that I actually had one that my parents got from me framed, and they had in their home for a long time. That is the anatomy. Then the other medium, so again we had not the use of computers. That started later, not much later, but and we had lettering. So we learned all about fonts in the sense that we actually drew them. We had a big book, and so we learned the characteristic of serif and sans serif, and then the different fonts, and practice by putting different words together, and I really enjoyed that. The other tool that we used quite a lot actually was the rapidograph, and the rapidograph is a ink pen that you can refill, and it has different tips, meaning the line that you draw is from very fine to much wider. And from the rapidograph drawings, I have a few to show. Speaking of lettering, once more, we did design our own letters, our own alphabet. So this is my my own alphabet. It's nothing fancy, but let me see. Can you see it okay? So this is inspired by the Greek columns, or just ancient columns. I thought that was kind of cool as a youngster. Then back to the rapidograph. Here's a tiny one. I don't have a whole lot of those. I have done my very first business card I did on board with a rapidograph. That's true. Maybe I bring that some other time. Or hold on, I'll pause. Never mind, it's not important. um, so this is a one I actually keep in my portfolio. And when you look closer, you see again the stippleism. So even though it seems like a fairly simple drawing, but the stippleism, the stiples, that always takes a little time to do. That's the rapidograph. I do not have a rapidograph at this moment. I love working with it. So the next I want to share, I just thought it would be fun to show you some of the tools if you are a young aspiring artist, just to see what an art school covers. At least, you know, today it's one school, we're moving into others in schools. Oh my goodness, sorry. I'm not starting over. Okay, so that is a pen. I don't have any examples, but yesterday we had a pencil drawing, and this would be the Mercedes-Benz of the pencil to use. It's the Art of Design brand technique, Spectracolor pencils, and just you know, to show you what you can do with them. Now this is from my study. I still have them, you know. So these are the pens that are also very nicely to blend, and you can do some, you know, beautiful work with them. Here, as I mentioned the markers, these were the markers. That's what they look like. This is the blenderless to colorless to blend, and then you got the, you know, fine tip. Actually, this is not a fine tip. This is kind of a medium, and this is a broad, and then the fine tip is even finer than that for that stippleism piece. And they are Fumi, so not the water-based that children that we color in books with. And these are the professional ones, and you do have to keep a window open if you work with them for a lengthy time. All right, I do have, you know, I have one. These come in all different widths, and they're great also for when you do poster, you know, lettering, hand lettering to announce whatever a sale, which I actually did in my job over the years again and again. It's useful. So, you know, this is just a reminder too, whatever we learn over the years, it's always interesting how you can apply those skills again and again as your life unfolds. So this was the markers, lettering. The other medium that we worked with was squash, and I did have a few that was almost painting, you know, but it's very brittle. It dries and cracks. It's not a medium that I would recommend for painters. I personally, that was my preference. I did not gouache. I did not enjoy as much as I do acrylics, especially the liquid acrylics. And another original still from my art study. What do we're in 2026? Oh my god, it's like 36 years old. So this is an X-Acto knife. And let me tell you, X-Acto knives are the bomb. I use them all the time for so many different things. And this is the only piece I have to show. It's also just a practice piece. I like to call this Mother Nature, which is later on I did another piece. We come to that. Actually, it's a photograph that I also titled that. In any case, that's just working with papers. This is laminated, so it holds up better. And there was a special glue that we used for anything that needed to be mounted. This is mounted on a navy blue background. Okay. And for the last piece for today, the last part of today, I have brought again marker renderings to demonstrate what you can do. Here it's actually, you can see it came off the bag. You can see how very thin marker paper is. This is specifically made for marker. It's not some you buy for your kitchen. Even though it's like a pergamon. But so this is a practice piece of silk scarves. This is a practice piece of a fork. Since we are in the advertisement industry, we got the fashion and different products that you will practice your skills on. I loved working on this one specifically for the background, the gradation, and only so you have pencil to draw the outline, and you have a little white ink. We were allowed to go in with some white ink for the highlights. And what I ended up doing, this is the original, and what I ended up doing is scanning it in and putting some font over it. This was later actually. I did that for the portfolio. This is when the computers were in the picture. And Zwilling is a German company, brand. So this is to show you the steps to a final, what could be a page in a magazine, in an advertisement magazine. And this will conclude the exercises from the Art Institute. This is the last piece I'm bringing to you today. So this is the original photograph out of a magazine, and I really loved it because of the hair color being such a multitude of colors. And one thing you need to know about marker paper, it turns yellow over time just from the air. So this has changed color. It used to be a pure bright white, and so this is the original that I drew. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I drew that. It is the yellow background dulling it down, and then it is laminated, you can see, to protect it, to extend the longevity. This is part of my portfolio when I go to present my art. Minus Joop, we took him out. If you saw the earlier, I think 2 days ago. So, okay. And what I did with this piece, just I entered it into an annual student competition, and lo and behold, she's got the number, the first place for what I called Buntschopf. I gave it the name Buntschopf. And I will get to talk about art competitions, art schools and such when we get closer to concluding all the schooling part of my journey. We are students of life, you know, we're always learning, but you know what I mean. Okay. So we'll put it up. I have a little gallery going. For today, I think I just wanted to talk about materials, and as you can see, I love colors. I like working with color, and that is the idea behind raising energy with art. It's very true that if we hang colorful art in our homes, that it will elevate the energy, it will uplift. And I am an uplifter, you know. So we'll get to a lot more colorful art in the next episode, so do come back. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, share. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until tomorrow. Hey, this is getting better. Okay. I love you. See you tomorrow.